Right. Hello, people. So we're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down. Hello, Gemmy. Hello. Well, Sarah's in the house already. So Sarah, Jenny's in comms today. She's not on live. Hi, Jeremy. Who else have we got? Scroll. Chris is already in video. Hi, Elizabeth. Cindy, hi, sweetheart. Hi, Tinker. Loved your video, Han. Couldn't comment. Turn your comments on. I've got a cheeky comment I want to put. Just saying.
You've got them on now.
Yeah, I'm catching up on videos. Yeah, slowly. Who else have we got in the house? Pixie, hi, Pixie.
Hi, Rob. We've got Rob's picture in the house.
Yeah. So we've got that way, we've got Sarah, also known as Sarah Diamonds. We have that way, Creative Chris, and on that angle, hang on, let me get my fingers. My fingers don't want to work this morning. Okay, hang on. Go this way, that way, turn that way. There we go.
Over there.
Yeah, we have Rob, aka the Dog Dad, in the house.
Hello, everybody.
How is everybody? Excuse me if I look really puffy. I've had a bad flu overnight, but I am here. And that's what counts. I'm flushing my system right now. I'm still in my PJs other than the top. Hiya, Rose. How are you, love?
Hey, Rose. How's everybody doing today?
I sadly had to roll up Rebirth and go back to Realism. So we're going to try and get this out and done. We're actually going to set up in the kitchen area, the living area up at the other front top end of the house, so that we can watch TV and do stuff. Oh, yay, because I have a cheeky comment to make. And I'm not going to make it on here. You'll have to wait till your video.
Why not? I can still be heard, people. I'm just monitoring chat to deal with things. So
yeah. Hi, Nix. Nice to see you, lovely. So today we're going to talk about a really heavy topic, and in the live that I had with Chris, it was, I felt it was something that we needed to discuss.
Hi, Gammy.
Oh, look at the boys.
The boys are definitely not camera shy, I see.
No, they're not.
My baby.
My little girl is asleep between me and Jenny.
She's supervising.
Yeah, she's supervising. She got groomed yesterday. Most of you guys saw the photos. So yeah, grief is something we've all dealt with in one way or another, and some of us heal a little bit easier than others. So hi, Angela, nice to see you, love. Kind of hoping as we share stories today, and we diamond paint.
Hey, Angela.
And we just we talk about it, and maybe someone can find some tips to help heal them. Maybe just talking will help do some healing. We'll share stories, and we'll just go from there. There is no we run
Talk
for 2
much?
hours. Yeah. I think
Or you just practice a lot?
I practice a lot.
Hey, Angela, I need to have a chat with you when you can find a few moments. Maybe we can do a video chat.
So yeah, so we'll shift the cameras to the. Are you diamond painting with us, Rob?
No, I got two sitting in my lap here. I don't dare try to diamond paint right now.
They're the bosses.
Chris is working
Besides
on.
that, I diamond paint. I diamond painted enough this morning to last me all day.
This is my diamond painting time. So.
Oh, Chris, that's fabulous.
Oh, pretty.
I've had to break out the light pad because some of the symbols don't show up very bright without the light pad. So I've had to break that out. So it.
So after Cola skidding on Rebirth, we've had to do a little repair job this morning.
Before we get into the heavy topic of what today is, we're going to be talking about. Hey, Sarah. I did manage to get one thing done yesterday. We now have a new photographer website. If you give me a few seconds, I will give you the link. I had to fix something up this morning.
Cousin Chris, you're working on Rebirth?
Yes.
Good. I'm anxious to see it completed.
Oh, it's going to be a while.
She's a big one.
I have faith, Chris. You can work it pretty quickly.
I've been doing okay. I've got
Get up
2
that
days
10
in.
placer and you'll be done in no time.
I don't multi-place. That's
I know you don't. That's why I was teasing you.
yes. But I am doing fairly well with it. I did a section yesterday about this big. If you can see my hand. No, you can't. I did from about here up to here yesterday. So this whole section here was done yesterday. But I work full time, so I have to do it in my off time.
I'll be finished. Come on.
I've got 2 to finish before I can actually get serious about Rebirth, but it will be on my table for February the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to doing. And then I've got once Silence by My Mind arrives, that'll go on my table.
So you're going to be a serial starter, are you?
I am going to be a serial starter. It's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Right, I'm going to take these covers off. I'm going to work across 3 today, little sections. Oh.
Yes, Angela, I got your message. I just responded. Thank you very much.
Oh, I just spelt my drills. I'm trying to get the cover. Mine is magnets in from underneath.
Hey, that's normally my party trick. Hang on, I'm nearly sorted, guys. Sorry. Hey, Amber.
Let's go back.
Hi, Amber.
There you go.
Let's go. Hang it down now.
Okay, I was busy.
Oh boy.
We have the launch of a new photographer. We finally managed to get her artwork launched today, and that is Sarah Wells. She has some absolutely fantastic animal pictures and scenery pictures.
And we will showcase her tomorrow.
Yes. But I wanted to launch her today because I do have a lot more to do. Okay, so if everyone wants to go and have a look at her link, there is her link there.
I put those away and I haven't finished with them. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane. Sarah, but you get more baby time if you stay there till Friday. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky. Welcome, welcome. It's a new name I haven't seen before.
Neither have I.
So, which one of you lovelies want to start the...
No problem, Gammy. I'm waiting on a response back, and I'll get that sorted.
Clean my canvas off a little bit.
Rob, Vicky's asking how your retirement's going.
Oh, I've been doing a lot of diamond painting. Not too much shopping because I don't have a lot of funds right now to do that, but I've been doing a lot of diamond painting and just spending time with my beautiful boys here.
So which boy's in the camera now, Rob?
This is the new edition. This is Rocco.
Oh, hi,
he's
Rocco.
beautiful.
Look over here. Look over here.
He is gorgeous. He's looking a lot calmer.
He still is a handful, I'm telling you. He's got a lot of
He's
puppy
very much
energy
a
in him.
puppy too, isn't he? Yeah.
Does your dad love you?
So which one of you guys want to be the first to share your story?
I nominate Chris. All those in favor say aye.
I can go first if you want me to.
If you're up to it, yeah.
Sure. I'm just fresh off the first anniversary of my mother's passing, and it just brings it all back. So it's not hard to talk about, but it's hard to put into words a lot of times how I feel. As you all know, I've had quite a bit of loss in my life in the last little while. My dad passed away in November of 2017. I was just getting used to the idea of my dad being gone when my mother passed away, just over 3 years later. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. But with the support of friends, family, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel for the darkness that grief brought. A lot of days, well, I still work full time. I don't miss work because of it. But if I gave away to my feelings and I gave into how I felt, I would not get out of bed. I would just be one of these people that stayed in bed, not talk to anyone, and just disappeared, I guess. But I can't do that. I came to a realization some time ago, and a friend of mine said it to me, and I say it to my friends now. And it is time moves on, time moves forward, and we have to go with it. We would not want to be stuck in that moment where we were. So that's what keeps me going. Time goes forward. I must go with it. I can't stay in that dark, dreadful moment forever. So through having chats with friends and the encouragement of people that I care about and people that care for me, I have done very well. And Monday, of course, the anniversary of my mother's passing, it turned out to be a really good day. I had a busy day because I was live twice. I had other things that I was doing. I kept myself very busy. I didn't forget. I didn't not think about it. I had a different focus. I had a focus on me more than how I was feeling. Yesterday, Tuesday, was a different story. I woke up in the morning not feeling great, exhausted after sleeping through the night, but I was still exhausted. But I had a low day. But allowed myself to have a low day. So yeah. I know every day is not going to be good days, but I do now have more good days than bad days. And I get comments all the time that I've come a long way in a year. So I guess that's something to be thankful for.
Yeah. Come on, let's get down. Come on, let's get down. Come on.
So but everyone deals with things differently too. So the way I deal with things and the way I think and the way I move forward might not be necessarily the right way for somebody else to do it. It's right for me, but it's not always right for someone else. You have to deal with things in your own way. Nobody can tell you how to feel, what to say, or what to do. You have to do these things for yourself, and you have to learn how to grieve in your own way.
Yeah.
So
what advice would you give to someone who has recently lost a parent that they're close to?
Keep them close in your memory. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. Just let it happen. Let the grief come. It comes in waves, and when you feel like crying, cry. Don't hold things in. Don't bottle it up. If you feel angry, it's okay. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel happy too. So there's going to be times when you feel very happy for the life that they had. You feel very sad for the life that was lost. And that's okay. Everything you're feeling is normal, but you're not alone. Like, it's the best advice that I can give to someone is reach out, talk to people, connect with your friends, your family, but know that you're not alone.
I think for me, when I lost my dad, it was like I was so busy helping organize the funeral, and like this is my stepdad, not my biological dad. I never actually took the time to grieve during that process because I was so busy like designing the funeral covers and helping my stepsister organize food and supporting my mum, and it was and trying to be there for and because I was alone up there without Rory, because he had work and couldn't get away straight away, and so I'd lost one rock out of my world suddenly, and my other rock was busy, and couldn't get the time off work straight away. So it was kind of I felt very isolated for me. So I didn't have the internet to reach out to like I do now. I didn't have all of you guys. I wish I had. It would have made things a lot easier, but it took me a good 2 or 3 months before I started the grieving process of actually the fact that I'd lost my rock.
Yeah, it was a little different for me. My mother lived with me, as you all know, because when she was diagnosed, I moved her in with me because she couldn't possibly do everything that needed to be done where she was living. The hospital that she was being treated at was not very far from where I lived. So I brought her here. She had her surgery. She moved in with me. And I told her she was staying for as long as she needed to. Now, there were times when she would go home for a little while, maybe a week or so. But she still technically lived with me. In October of 2020, she went into hospital because something happened. She couldn't do things for herself. I wasn't able to do things by myself for her. It was a lot for one person to take care of a parent that is now becoming paralyzed. So I remember one night she needed to go to the washroom, so I got up, I went out to her bedroom, I got her out of the bed. I got her to the washroom. I got her situated and got her back to the bed, went to the washroom myself and went back to bed. And that took probably about a half hour.
Okay.
And my house is not very big. Like the washroom is only around the corner from her bedroom and across the hall from my bedroom. So it took a good half hour to get her from the bed to the washroom, from the washroom to the bed. And at that point, I knew that I couldn't do this on my own. So I would have either had to have gotten 24-hour care for her, which is very difficult to get and very expensive. I did end up getting some care for her to have her home for her last birthday that she celebrated. So I had her home for a little over 24 hours then. She wanted to spend her birthday at home. It was offered to her later on to go home with 24-hour care, which she declined. She decided no, she didn't want to do that. And I think I know that she didn't want to put that on me, having a stranger in my house all the time.
Yeah.
But I used to get up in the morning, get ready, go to work, come home from work, sometimes have something to eat, not all the time, get changed and go to the hospital, be at the hospital till about 11 at night, midnight, come home, go to bed, and do it all again the next day. I was totally exhausted. And I guess I got used to her not being in the house so much. But when she passed away, I had a whole different thing of my routine was completely torn. I had time, which I didn't have for a long time. And I got lonely.
Yeah.
I got very lonely because I had no one here in my house sitting in the chair to talk to.
Yeah.
So it got very lonely. I knew what was happening. I knew that the time was coming. I had time to prepare, but no matter how much time you have to prepare, you're never ready. Never
Yes,
ready.
Chris, I agree.
Somebody said to me, well, you had 2 years to prepare for this. And I'm like, if I had 22 years to prepare for this, I would not be ready. I am the youngest child in my family, and when I got the call that my mother had passed away, because I wasn't with her when she passed, I chose not to be there. And that was a personal choice that I made. And it was respected, which was good. But when I got the call at 10 to 5 in the morning saying that she had passed, I felt not like a 40-something-year-old man. I felt like a child, and my first thought was, how am I going to take care of myself? I always had my mother that could help me with anything that I needed. How am I going to take care of myself now?
Yeah.
I was kind of scared. But I've done okay.
You have done amazing.
I haven't starved myself to death yet, so I guess I'm doing okay.
It's a good start.
Yeah. But humor keeps me going too. I do tell a lot of jokes, and I share stories about my mother and my father too, both of them. They were both very witty people. So sharing those stories and remembering the good times that we always had together, and it really makes it a whole lot easier.
That's good.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that they're gone physically from my life. But they never really ever left me.
No.
I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror, and I see my father staring back at me because I look a lot like him. I see a lot of my mother's personality traits coming through in things that I do. And my mother was a crafty person, so I guess I get my craft abilities from her. So I have a lot to be thankful for having them for as long as I did, but I wish I had them for longer. Like, we always wish that we could keep them forever. That's not the case. No one lives forever, unfortunately, but they never die completely as long as you keep them alive in your memory.
Exactly, Chris. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Okay, somebody else go now because I'm going to cry.
It's okay to cry, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I just said that. It is okay to cry. And I have my moments. I really do. A lot of them. Just hang on. I got to mute myself because my phone is ringing.
You're right.
That's okay. That's not for me. That's the wrong number. I'm not even going to answer it. That's Gladys calling again now. Don't know who she wants.
I agree with Chica. Like, every time we hear the clock go, we all say hi to your mum.
Yes. The clock is a very special family heirloom. And my mom promised that clock to me while she was still alive. And I asked her if I could have the clock. When she was actually living with me, I said to her, I want the clock. And she said, well, when I'm gone, you can have the clock. I'm like, why do I have to wait till you're gone? So you're living here now. Why don't you bring the clock with you? No, she said, I'm not bringing that with me. It's going to stay on the wall where it is. But when I'm gone, you can have it. I said, okay. So when I went home for her funeral, the day I was leaving, I said to my brother, now mom said that I could have the clock. He said, well, mom said you could have the clock. He said, you have the clock. I said, I'm going to take it with me now when I go. Yeah. He said, take it off the wall and go. Just take it with you. So there was no arguments from anybody about this clock that everybody really wanted. But she had promised it to me. So I have the clock, and every time I look at it, I think of her. And every time I hear it, it helps me remember her.
Yeah.
The clock will never leave my family. I will never get desperate enough to sell the clock because it's just too important. So when I'm gone, it'll go to somebody else in my family. My nephew, probably. And here she goes.
Mama says hi.
Yeah.
Lester, you're hurting your leg. Huh?
Yeah, we're talking about you, Mama.
Hi, Chef. Grief is always there's a stigma around grief. Like, we don't talk about it very often. It's not something that's spoken about, especially on YouTube videos. But
no,
and not in the diamond painting world, but it needs to be. Stigmas in my world are made to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be normalized, as Jen said, which is what we're trying to do today.
Not the easiest thing in the world to talk about, but talking actually helps.
It does.
Oh, Gabby, I'm not sure.
But I've become very comfortable talking about it, and I don't know if it's the right thing. Again, for me, it's the right thing, but for everyone else, maybe it's really difficult for them to talk. I found that to be one of the easiest things to do is to talk about the grief, the feelings, and I didn't seek professional help because I didn't feel that I gotten to the point where I needed to have like group therapy, grief discussions, and grief counseling and things like that. I dealt with it on my own, in my own way. I did what worked for me.
Yeah.
But what works for me don't necessarily always work for everyone else.
No, but sharing someone can have pick up a way to deal with their own grief that they're dealing with, because grief isn't just about death either.
No.
Like, I know as a special needs mum,
Mm-hmm.
when we first get that diagnosis that our child isn't what society calls normal, there's a bit of grief that goes with that as well.
Oh,
And every diagnosis you get and every update you get, it comes back. It's not something that just, you learn to live with. It's, like when I got told Kenzie would never live a normal life, I went through a grief process with that. And I will dig more into that through the autism event, but grief can be in that shape as well. And the only way I realized it was grief is because I've actually dealt with so much grief myself of loss of loved ones. So, yeah.
I guess though, with that grief, it's the loss of
What should have been.
What should have been, what could have been, what you had expected. Loss of expectation, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for a mum, we carry a baby for 9 months. And we dream of what our child's going to look like, what they're going to be like, what they're going to grow up to be. And when that's taken from you because genetically something's happened and it's not going to happen that way, you kind of got to face reality that, I mean, I always dreamed that Mackenzie would be a little ballerina. She would be artistic. She would have this amazing life. And yeah, her life is so far from what I imagined it was going to be.
But Rose, she still has an amazing life.
She does have an amazing life. You're right. She really does. And it took me a few years to dig through all of the what should have been.
All right.
To come to terms with it. And it is a grief process.
Yeah. But there's something to be said for acceptance too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got the last county being heard from here now.
Oh, hello, beautiful.
This is Journey. And this is He Will Kiss You to Death. That's enough, little boy.
They just want their 5 minutes of fame.
Amber, you are so welcome to share your story anytime you like, love. Hi, Stacey. You're always welcome to interrupt and say hi, love.
And if my phone rings, guys, I have to disappear and accept it.
So, who would like to go next? Rob, would you like to go next, or Sarah?
Well, my grief is very similar, very, very similar to my cousin Chris. My mom had a major stroke. Actually, it was an aneurysm 9 years before she passed away. And when she had this, the doctors told me she wasn't going to make it through the day. And she made liars out of them. She made it for many days afterwards. And then when she's somewhat stabilized, they put her in for brain surgery. They went in to clip the aneurysm in her brain. And the surgeon, before he took her in for surgery, he came out and he told me, he says, I'm not giving this a lot of hope that this is going to work. But I said, we have to do something. I can't have my mom as a vegetable the way she is now. So let's do whatever it takes to get her as back to normal as possible. And so they took her in, they did the surgery. The surgeon came out and he walked up to me. He says, you know, your mom is one amazing woman. She went through the surgery just fine. We never even had to put her on a ventilator. And I just I just hugged the doctor. I said, I can't tell you what this means to me and to her, I'm sure. And she was kept in a coma for 3 days after the surgery. And when they finally let her come out of it, she knew who I was. She knew where she was, but she just couldn't talk. Or she could talk, but she couldn't make sense out of her sentences. She knew what she wanted to say, but it just never came out right. So, to make a long story short, she lived for 9 years after that incident, and she lived with me. It was tough, but I would do it all over again in a heartbeat if I could have my mom back. She really was an amazing woman.
No.
She always had a kind word to share with somebody. She always loved to stop and talk to people. Even if it was somebody that she didn't think she would care for, she would still stop and talk and at least be kind to somebody. And she absolutely loved to play games. It didn't matter what kind of game it was, whether it was Parcheesi, backgammon, cards. And she would love to sit at her computer, and we were in the same room. I had an office. She had her desk, I had my desk. We would sit and play online games together, and she just thought that was just the coolest thing, that we could be in the same room and be online and play a game together. Well, sadly, it got to the point where she could no longer take care of herself. And she knew that I couldn't do it either. At that time, I was still working a full-time job, and she told me she wanted to go to a nursing home. And I'm like, well, Mom, you always told me never put you in there. And I'm like, I really don't know if you'll be happy there. She says, I know I won't be happy there, but I know that you can't do everything for me. And so we talked it out, and she decided that's what she wanted to do. And so we found the best home that we could afford. And she lasted just short of 2 years after going into the nursing home. And the morning that she passed away, and that would be 7 years ago this June that she passed away, the morning that she passed, or the day that she passed away, I got off of work and I went and saw her, and I knew then that she wasn't going to be around much longer. I mean, she didn't respond to me. She never opened her eyes, and I just couldn't stay. I mean, I had the boys I had to take care of, and I had gone directly from work to see her, and I didn't go home first. And I left. I gave her a kiss. I talked to her. I don't know if she understood anything I said, and it was like 4 hours later that the home called me and told me that she passed. And it was tough. I cried, but I thank the good Lord above that I had all those years with her when the doctor said that she wasn't going to make it. And we made the best of what we could do, the best we could do. And I have no regrets. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. And Buster, the boy that was up here, he's the last remaining dog that I have from when Mom was still alive.
So there's a very special attachment with Buster.
Yes, Buster is my boy. I mean, I love all my dogs, but Buster is my soul dog. I look at him, I see Mom, because my mother, she thought the world of that dog, and he's very intelligent, and he loved her. And I look at him, I play with him, and I see my mom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand because like when Bridie died, I had Hannah, my Birmingham cat. So and when Hannah passed away a year ago, it was like that last remaining piece for me. So I can understand because I mean, don't get me wrong, Jordan remembers his big sister, and I'll talk about her when it's my turn a bit more. But yeah, I understand the animal connection.
I don't know for who follows me, but I know several of you do. I had my little Cody Joe, and he was also around, or my mom was still alive when I had Cody Joe, and y'all know I lost him a few months ago. He died in my arms. We never did exactly find out what happened, but I think he had a heart attack, and he died in my arms. And he was the other dog that I had when my mom was still alive, and I used to take Cody Joe to the nursing home. They allowed him to go so that she could see him. I took Buster too on occasions, but because Buster's bigger, they didn't appreciate it as much as little Cody Joe, because Cody was just a little guy and they felt that he was pretty much harmless. But I don't know. You never forget. You just try to remember the good times. And it does help if you have somebody to talk to. And I'm just thankful that I had my boys.
Yeah.
Sarah, I think it's your turn, my dear.
Excuse me.
Is she ready, Sarah?
Yeah, just changing colour. Huh?
It's your turn, love.
We're ready. Oh, I don't know.
So while you're getting ready, I'll just touch base on some of the comments. I am reading the comments, guys. I'm not interrupting the guests as they talk to respond to you, but I definitely am reading them. Amber, I've dealt with suicide, so I do understand the pain that goes with that, and my heart breaks for you, love. It really does. Sarah, we've discussed your passings and what's gone through, and you're an amazing woman, and you really need to appreciate that. So appreciate you for who you are. Cindy, wow, like, oh my goodness, just I don't even know what to say. I can kind of relate, but you'll understand that one a little bit later. Oh, I'm reading all these stories like Stacey's and Cindy's and Sarah's and Angela's and Amber's and Angie's and Berta, and all your stories are touching my heart, guys. Vicky. I still have my mum, but I've had two amazing dads in my life, and I have lost my dads. But I think one of the hardest losses for me is losing a child. So we will discuss that one after Sarah. Sarah's, I'm going last. So Sarah.
Does it mean yes?
It's you now, love. Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay.
Take your time.
I'm going to start crying.
It's okay.
Sarah, it's okay to cry.
It's okay.
We're all crying with you, love. So
You're not crying alone.
I haven't lost a parent, but I lost my grandparents 5 months apart. I was extremely close to my granddad. So close that I got married after 2 years because I wanted him to walk me down the aisle. And when he made my will, it ended. What made it harder was I was in a different city. And I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, love. Just take your
I
time.
couldn't come to. I was 4.5 hours away. And the day that I got the text, I was in the middle of moving house. And I literally dropped to the floor and cried.
Oh, honey.
Because my dad hadn't been in my life, so my granddad is like my dad as well.
He was your father figure.
And he was an amazing. He was a father figure. He was an amazing person. He was a crazy Dutch bastard. He always used to joke around with us. I still remember the time that I told him that I was pregnant. These are his exact words. He said, "What is this guy's name? Where does he live? I'm going to go and chop his dick off." And yeah, he was just an amazing person. He was given 5 years to get his affairs in order. The thing that kept him alive was his 26 pills a day. 2 days after he stopped taking them, he passed. The reason he stopped taking them was because he could no longer survive.
You think he was ready?
His body is turned down. And then almost 5 months to the day later, I lost my grandmother, so his wife. But because she had dementia, we'd lost her quite a while ago because we watched her deteriorate. She no longer knew who I was.
Oh.
She didn't know who my mum was, which is her daughter. I think it's harder to lose someone twice.
Yeah. I've never had to deal with
It's way harder
dementia.
to
Yeah.
But the hardest thing I ever did was do a custom diamond painting of them for my mum.
That was beautiful. That was
It helped me. Yeah, it helped me get through the process a bit easier. But just seeing their faces come alive on a giant piece of paper, because it was 60 by 70. Yeah. But I keep a photo of them next to me while I'm diamond painting. I'll grab it.
That's the one you diamond painted, isn't it?
So this, yeah. So it sits next to me while I'm diamond painting. Just as a little reminder.
I remember you diamond painting that painting.
But I haven't only lost grandparents. I've also lost a baby.
We'll get your baby.
Yeah.
Bring me your baby.
And I think that grief is so hard to get through. I don't have to think. I know that grief is so hard to get through.
Get your baby. We'll get your baby.
So.
And I also have a permanent reminder of them. This tattoo. Sorry, it's upside down. But it says "Rest in peace" with their date, but it's in Dutch. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Yeah. So I have those permanent reminders.
Yeah, I have a permanent reminder of my parents as well.
So
I have,
one passed in 2019. And the other one passed in January of 2020.
Wow.
So quite recent.
Yeah, very recent and still very raw.
Yeah. I don't think I have much more to say without crying.
That's okay, love. You're doing fine. You did great. You did amazing.
Apart from the fact that fantails roaming around. And my mum told me that it's my Opa watching over me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I called him, was Opa.
Yeah.
Rose,
Yes,
I sent you a picture of my mom.
you did. It is beautiful.
Do you think you can fix that somehow with
I
some
know I
beautiful pastel flowers and some butterflies in the background?
Yeah, I know I can.
My
Sorry,
mom was
Kenzie's
not.
looking at-
My mom was not a. I don't know what the word is, but she was a very. She wasn't cheap. She wasn't frugal. She just wasn't a vibrant person as far as her dressing was concerned. And I just know that she always liked light colors and she loved butterflies, and it would mean the world to me if you could fix that painting up somehow.
I will it is definitely on my list to do. I promise.
That picture I sent is one of the only pictures that I actually have of her. I have a picture of her in her wedding dress, but it's the greatest picture in the world. But the picture I sent you, it was actually damaged, and I sent it out to have it repaired, retouched, and it is a beautiful picture. Mom
It
was
is.
a beautiful woman.
Guys, I will be back. I'm sorry. That is my daughter. I'm coming.
Sarah, it's okay to cry. And Chris, it's always okay to cry. You know that.
yep.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. It's okay. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Hang on.
It's okay.
Thanks, Ange, for dealing with our little friend that come in there, Mr. Annoying. Yeah, she's. I think she's in pain, so it's a matter of calming her down. I will say she has a hard head because I just got a headbutt to the head.
I don't know about you, but I think we need to lighten the mood a little bit. And Jenny, you need to tell us.
I think we do too.
I think you need to tell us about all the wonderful things that are going to be happening with your combined company.
Now, Rob, you don't think I'm going to give too many secrets away, do you?
You don't have to give secrets away. Just hint a little bit if you can.
Well, we have a meeting with a potential new artist today, who, if everything goes well, she'll be coming on board soon, and I have some, hopefully have them up today or tomorrow. I'll have some new Camilla Drakenborg, and I will also have some more Jasmine Beckett Griffiths showing up as well. I've got them sized. I've just got to get time to get them up on the website. Sarah,
Y'all
certainly,
still like
I don't give the secrets away, but you can. I've only got some of her stuff at the moment, and I'm waiting for more to come through.
To everybody who's in the chat, I'm sorry. I've been paying attention to everybody's who's on my screen here, and I haven't been watching the chat. I do apologize.
I don't
I
even
do
have
that.
the chat. Oh, I'm sorry.
I do that at time too, Rob.
I don't have the chat on. I didn't put up the chat on my tablet. I just have my phone on here, and I just got the phone pointed down at my rebirth, which is coming along quite nicely.
It is. If you've got any questions for anyone on the panel, I'll be happy to relay it to them. Yes, Sarah Bryce is the wonderful Sarah Wells on the website, and her photography is now featuring on Uniquely Yours Down Under.
Congratulations, Sarah.
I'm going to have to go and check that out.
So has anyone got any questions for our wonderful panel here? Diane, there is a mental health event in February that is being run by Grace from, I can't think what the channel name is at the moment, and I'm not sure who else is doing that with her.
It's Grace and Abigail, and it's #ReachOut2022.
That's right. If you've got Gracie's channel there, Ange, can you put it up on the chat, please? There's some absolutely wonderful events coming throughout the year. We've got the mental health awareness event. There's autism awareness. There's Rob's event for
Adoption and rescue.
That's the one. Thank you for that. There's also the October Breast Cancer Awareness event that Angie's running, and there is also a prostate cancer awareness event that Grace is running, which will feature the wonderful creative Chris, Rob, the diamond painting dog dad, and also Christopher Colossus. Okay, Angela, enjoy. Which event's that, Sarah? We've actually decided, Rob, that there is one artist of the old masters that has perfect images for your event, and that is, and I'm probably going to butcher the name here, which is Charles Vander Eycken, I think it is. He does a lot of cat and dog pictures.
I saw him today. I was looking at Master's pictures. Yes, he does have some amazing images. And I know that Rose is going to come up with some knock your socks off paintings for this event.
Okay, Tim, sweetie.
I'm excited about it. I guess I announced the dates now, couldn't I? Or should I wait?
No, you can. It's your event, Rob. You can announce the dates. This is a perfect platform for it.
Well, folks, the animal adoption and rescue event is going to start live in July, all of August, and all of September. I know that there's going to be some wonderful gifts and giveaways during that event. This is my first, so I'm going to be learning a little bit, but I'm sure I'll have lots of help along the way. At least I hope I will. And all the proceeds that come from the event will be donated to the Society of Tampa Bay, 100%. And I know that Clear and Rose Profit have also made any of the special images that they create for this event that are purchased for the event, that portion the proceeds from those will go to the Humane Society. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 10% of the purchases will go to the Humane Society.
Angie, I have to tell you something. I finally finished my breast cancer awareness picture. Finally. Same too.
Yeah, I'm going to be making there's more art than roses that will be available for that event. I'm going to we're going to do check out some old masters and come up with some old master appropriate pictures. There's a few Jasmine's pictures that will work, so we're going to have those available as well. Awesome, Elizabeth. Talk to you soon.
Jenny, I think I actually sent you a picture of an old master's dog painting that I came across.
Yes, we will have that one up there as well.
It's different.
Yes.
And it's an old master.
Yep.
Oh, I have somebody that wants to come back up here again. I thought I got rid of them for a while. Come on then. Oh, you can do it. Did you slip? Come on, hurry up. Oh, you lost your space, Buster. Now Rockataco's up here. Oh, stop.
He's beautiful. They're all beautiful, Rob.
They're good boys. They keep me on my tuneful. Aren't you? He's got some lessons to learn, and I'm trying to teach him. He gets rather grabby when I try to give him a dog treat. But all in all, he's a good boy. He's funny. He found a basket of toys that I had for the boys, and he's taken every last one out of the basket and spread them all over my little home here. And he's got a favorite one that I call it his baby. And he walks around and it's got a squeaker in it. He walks around here squeaking it, and then he'll come up and shove it in my face when he's wanting to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good boys, and I could not imagine not having an animal in my life.
I'm like that. We've got 4 cats, and I couldn't imagine life without them. They drive me totally nuts at times, but I love them to bits. Rob, have you got a hashtag for the event?
I have not as of yet. I'm still trying to put some ideas together. Actually, to be very honest with you, I've kind of forgot about that. I've just been trying to get some other ideas going for it. But thanks for reminding me. I will
I've
work
got
on
one.
that.
I've got one floating in my head that I'll let Rob know about later.
Okay.
Just calm. I'm just going to hide it.
Right in here. Because I'll put my hand up to stop her, and I have it like this.
Yeah, I shouldn't want you to do
Oh, no. It was okay.
Just,
I'll sit with her.
all right, guys. Judy's just going to go and just sit with Kenzie. She's calm now. Oh, they can be quite violent, so it's, yeah. It's wee.
I'm glad she's okay.
She's okay. She hurt her head, and she's had some pain relief and chocolate, because chocolate makes everything better.
Of course.
So yeah, she's definitely doing a bit better. Yeah.
Rocco's trying to figure out where those voices are coming from.
So I guess it's my turn now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's a hard one. I don't really know where to start. Grief has been a big impact on my life. Pretty much since my biological dad died when I was 2. He drowned in the Auckland Harbour. There's a story behind how he drowned. It was an accidental drowning. But that's not my story to tell. But it affected me my whole entire life. There was a lot of lies and stories and that were told about how he died. I didn't find out until much later how he died. And so that was very hard. My mum remarried, and the man that she remarried was a sexual child abuser, and I was the recipient of that for 4 years. That was a very, very, very hard time for me in my life, and I'm leading up to my stepdad's death and Bridie's death. So this is why I just figured I'd let you guys know what makes me me. My grandfather, who I lost when I was 18, he stepped in, and he was my first male rock in my world. He supported me. He was just an amazing man, and losing him devastated me. In that time, my mum had got rid of, and I call him the fuckwit, so excuse the language. I don't speak his name. I will never speak his name. He is dead now. May he rot for eternity in hell, as far as I'm concerned. But there's a lot of anger there. When she met my stepdad, the man I called dad for 30 years, he taught me that not all men were going to hurt me. And we had a very special bond, and he was an amazing, amazing man. And when I went through the toughest grief a person can ever go through for me, he was the one who was there for me the most. So when I was 23, this young girl, teenage girl, came into my life. She had been bounced from foster home to foster home. She didn't have a good relationship with her biological mother. And she had the unfortunate name of Bridget Jones. And for those that know Bridget Jones's diary, that was just coming out around about the same time. So I kind of took her under my wing and started being a friend. But I've always had a maternal thing in me. And she came into my life and I was 23 and she was 16. So 7 years difference. And I always thought it was going to be like a big sister, little sister kind of relationship. But it actually evolved into very quickly a mother and daughter relationship. When it was a few years down the track and I'd been supporting her and I've been looking after her and just being there for her. And she was calling me mum by this time. And I was attending a church. And so we decided to adopt her. She was 18 by this time. We adopted her at 18. And so she became Bridie. And that was my butterfly. She is my butterfly. This is hard for me. This is my I'm going to cry moment. I thought I wouldn't have children of my own, so I embraced this gift that I'd been given of her. And she was hard work, don't get me wrong. She put me through so much. I went grey because of her. But she was mine. She did not grow in my womb, but she grew in my heart. She'd had a very similar upbringing to mine, and I wanted to protect her as much as possible, and I wanted to show her that she was worthy of love. So Jordan came into our lives. She was 20. Actually, she was 19, and the day after her little brother was born, she turned 20, and that was her birthday gift. As she was concerned, and they fought like brother and sister, and they were awesome. And she made some choices in her life that I necessarily didn't agree with, but as a parent, and those that are parents of teenagers and young adults, you know that there comes a time when you've got to let them make their own mistakes. So I let her make her mistakes, and whenever she fell down, I picked her up. There was many of us that picked her up, but I was mum, and it was around about March, April. Jordan was 8, so she would have been 27, 28 at the time, and she wasn't feeling well, and she had her son by then. And this is a little boy who had autism as well. And Kenzie was not quite 2. And when she had come home to live, and she was living at home again. And Brandon was sick. And so we'd taken him to the emergency room. And I noticed that Bridie was struggling to breathe. And I noticed that her lips were going blue, and she was lacking in oxygen. And her and I used to battle. She'd fight me every step. She was Irish through and through, this girl. She battled me hard out. And I said to them, I just want you to check her. So they checked her oxygen stats and they checked her heart rate, and her oxygen stats were sitting at 70. And they realized then that there was something seriously wrong. She wasn't getting enough oxygen. So we were raced to emergency at the hospital, and we went through a couple of months of testing, and we found out that she had what they called pulmonary hypertension. Now, this is fatal. There is no cure, sadly. She had, it's like high blood pressure in your main artery. She had 10 holes in her heart, which we found out after she died. And what was happening was her oxygen-rich blood and her oxygen-poor blood in the heart were getting mixed up. And so her lungs couldn't cope with that, and she wasn't getting enough oxygen and stuff. So we spent a lot of time backwards and forwards to the hospital and ambulances. And I'm going to share with you the day of her death. A couple of weeks before she died, we were sitting out on the front porch of our house, and it had been raining. Like, we'd had the most rain I think New Zealand had ever had at that point in time. And we were talking, and she said, "Mum, I'm going to die." And I said to her, I'm not ready for this. She needed a double transplant. She needed a heart and lung transplant. And I said to her, no, we're going to find a way, Anyway, the conversation turned to what her perfect day would be to die on, because we're an open family. We talk about all sorts. And she said to me, she goes, "Mum, I want to die on a Sunday. The sun will be shining. I will hear birds. I will see butterflies. There will be rainbows. And I will just stop." And she said, "And you'll know if I have my perfect day that I have made it to heaven, because God has answered my prayer." Now, we'd been in a church up until that point where, because Bridie was bisexual, and she was in a same-sex relationship, that they had been banned from the church, and there was a whole lot of stuff going on. And so I was very anti-God at this point. And anyway, so 2 weeks later, she passed away. We had got her up in the morning, and I got her up, and I'd got her showered, and I'd taken her to the toilet and cleaned her up, and I had her wrapped in a towel in her wheelchair, and we were standing outside. It was a Sunday, and we were standing outside on the porch, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful sunshine day, because what she'd said to me had slipped my mind. I just put it down. I wasn't wanting to face the fact that I would have to deal with saying goodbye to a child of mine. I'd already done that. I've had 12 miscarriages, so it's something that I would have avoided at all cost. And she said she wasn't feeling well, and I noticed she was blue, and I said to her, "We need to call an ambulance." And she was feisty, right up to the end. I said, "I don't want to die in an ambulance." I said, "Oh, you're not going to die, but we need to get some oxygen to help your heart breathe, do what it needs to do." And she said to me, and I remember her saying to me, "I'm just tired, Mum." And I went, "I know." And we were standing on that, she was sitting outside and the thing, and these butterflies, monarch butterflies, came in. And we're not talking one or two guys, we're talking like 7 or 8 of them. Literally came in under the deck, swarmed around her, and fluttered for a little while, and then disappeared. And I said to her, "Okay, let's go get you warmed up and dressed," because she was only wrapped in a towel. And I got her back onto the bed, and she was still wrapped in a towel, and she was like, I can hear tuis. Now, tuis are a native bird to New Zealand, absolutely beautiful, and they sound like a bell ringing. And she looked outside, she goes like, "Oh, a rainbow." And like I said, it had been raining for weeks and weeks up until that point. and it was a beautiful sunny day, and there was this beautiful rainbow. Still didn't think of anything until much later. We had been smoking from the house because we were trying to get oxygen installed in the house. So I'd gone out to have a smoke, and my children's dad was inside, and I was out at the curb, and we were getting ready to take Jordan to karate because he had a grading that needed to be done, and so we were going to take him to that, and we had friends coming down to sit with Brady. He suddenly yelled out to me that she'd fallen off the bed, and I went running in there and rolled her over, and we realized that she had gone. And so we rang emergency, and we were doing CPR, and the whole time, and I will not lie, my mother instinct was very, very strong. And the whole time Mum's sitting there, don't you fucking die on me, don't you fucking die on me, we're not done yet. And while I'm doing CPR, the ambulance arrived. It felt like eternity. And they pulled her out of the bedroom and took her into the dining room area to work on her. And they said to me, how long do you want us to work on her? And I said to them, no more than 15 minutes, because I don't want her being a vegetable. There was no heartbeat, no echo, no nothing. They could not, there was nothing to defib. There was absolutely nothing. And the last I remembered of her was looking down into her face and her empty eyes staring back at me. We kept her in the home for a few hours so people could come and say goodbye. And when the coroner came to take her away to have her autopsy done, they had to take her out through she had like these big double door glass rooms in the room. She had the best room in the house. And we had a dog, a black lab, and we had Hannah and Cleo and Mocha, which was her two cats. And as they took her out, my dog went straight down flat onto the ground, and he started howling, a very horrible howl. And then as we walked, they had to walk her around the house and down the driveway, and as there was a fence, and there was the cats, and I swear there was all the neighborhood cats, and they were all there, and they started as we walked past. And I escorted her to the car. The pain that I felt, I had to suck up, because I had two other children and a grandson who needed me. It was the worst feeling in the world. I watched my son imitate my strength at 8 years old, and having watched his sister that he idolized die. I watched him suck it up and go to karate, get his belt that he'd worked so hard for, and come home with his belt that he couldn't share with her. I watched my youngest, Mackenzie, look for her throughout the house. I couldn't function. I couldn't, if it had not been for my best friend, who's my sister in my heart and soul, and her husband, if it had not been for them, my kids wouldn't have been fed or changed or bathed. They lived 4 houses up. And they looked after me and Pete and my babies. I had this dream, and you guys are going to see this piece because this is coming out. I had this dream that night where she was in a field of flowers. She was dressed in white. She had bleached. She had beautiful ringlet curls, like the curls that us women pay for. She had these naturally, and her in this dream, her hair was straight, and I never clipped it, why it was straight. Not till much later. But in this, she was walking in this field, and in the distance, you could see all these people waiting for her. And I knew without a doubt that they were smiling, and there was love just radiating from them. And it was her biological family that had passed, and my biological family that had passed. And they were all just blended into one family, waiting for her. Running towards her were these 12 children, all different ages, racing to her, and singing to her, going, "We've been waiting for you, we've been waiting for you." And there was this little 4-year-old girl, and she goes up to Bridie. So they're all hugging her and touching her and stuff. And they go up to Bridie, and she tugs her dress, and Bridie picks her up. Now, the last child that I lost, other than Bridie, was a little girl that we named Bailey. And she would have been around 4 as she'd lived. And she whispered into Bridie's ear, "I'm Bailey." And Bridie said to her back, "I know, and Mum's going to be so jealous that I get to hug you first." That dream felt so real. And I really felt like it was her telling me that she had found her place at long last. Losing a child, whether it was yours biologically or not, is one of the worst pains that you can ever imagine. For me, it was number 13. And one that I watched grow from a troubled teenager to this beautiful, beautiful woman who brought this special little boy into the world, who had put me through hell, don't get me wrong, but she was mine. And it has been a few years now. And as you can tell, it still hurts. Come August, I still grieve. My son and I have a ritual that we do every year, whether we're together or not. And even though I was over here and he was in New Zealand on the 9th of August, him and I sat down and we watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Princess Bride. Now, we can probably say these movies word to word because we watch them every year. They were her favorite movies. I've just realized we've lost Rob. Does anyone know what happened? Oh, hang on. Do we know what happened to Rob? Because he lost his internet, maybe.
You might have
So we have our things that we do. Butterflies have a huge, huge impact in our world. I have butterflies tattooed on my back. I have a piglet. She was my piglet, as in Winnie the Pooh piglet. All my kids have had Winnie the Pooh names. Kenzie's Heffalump. Jordan is Roo. I was Tigger and their dad was Owl. It was a whole thing. We had a rabbit and we had friends who, there was Eeyores, we had so many of them. But she was my piglet. What's that? Welcome back, Rob.
My internet went down.
It's okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I have, every time we see butterflies, we say, "Hi, Brady," because we believe that she's saying hello. Because one of the last things that she said to me was, "Don't worry, Mum. You'll see me on the wings of every butterfly." And I do every day. And Jordan and Pete, we all do. Kenzie still knows Bridie because we keep her alive for her. It was her big sister as well. I believe Bridie watches over her every day. One of the hardest things I've felt since I'd been in Australia was the fact that I hadn't seen a morning butterfly at all. And I felt like I'd left her behind as much as I'd left Jordan behind. And I remember saying, I think it was on a live actually, I said that I hadn't seen any. And I got off the live and I was on video call with Anne. And this butterfly literally, monarch butterfly literally flew in under it like a gazebo.
I am hang on.
In front of my face, and then fluttered, went off. And I was like, oh, I didn't leave her behind after all.
Sorry guys, I had to answer the door.
It's okay. I don't have any words of wisdom for parents who lose their children. I really don't. I can tell you it is still, some days are easier, some days are harder. It's not easy. You never forget. That day is so ingrained in my head that it's like a movie, and I watch the reruns every now and then. I can tell you what I was wearing. I can tell you who made me coffees. I can tell you who rolled me cigarettes. I can. We had been preparing to lose my father-in-law at the time, or my mother who'd been unwell. We had expected a miracle and were hoping that a heart and lung transplant would come available. We had no idea. They never warned us at the hospital that it was a one-way street. We had no idea that there was even a possibility that she was on borrowed time. And in a way, that was a blessing because we had so much special time. The night before she passed away, I remember I'd fallen asleep on the couch because, got to take into consideration, Kenzie had been a very sick baby and she would stop breathing 20 or 30 times a day. So I was dealing with that as well. And so I'd fallen asleep on the couch, and her partner at the time came in running and going, Mum, Bridie wants you. And I was like, what's got, thinking the worst. And I'd gone in there, and she goes to me, Mum, can you just lay with me? I was like, sure I can. So I laid down next to her, and she said to me, I want to thank you.
Come on.
I was like, what for? She goes, you showed me what a mum was. And you were the best mum that I could have ever asked for. And I'm so glad that I had you. And I was like, oh, honey, you're my world. You're part of my world. You're my baby. I love you. You don't realize how much those words mean now. until after they're gone. And I realized that looking back and in hindsight, that was her way of telling me goodbye and that I'd done a good job.
Oh, cool.
When you lose a child, a bit of you goes, and you never forget them. You never forget that pain of that moment. You learn to deal with it, and you learn to cover it up. You learn to get on with life because you have other things going on, like other children and partners and friends who need you. I was very blessed that I had this amazing best friend over that time. When we got Brady back from the coroner and we had a cause of death and stuff, we were finally able to, and with her biological mum, I might add, we organised the funeral because Joe and I had who is with her daughter now. She's with her girl now. Her and I worked through a lot of differences, and we realised we had to share Brady. So it became a better bond. Who's with her daughter now? And we organised a funeral. Anyway, we went to the funeral home. And we realised we had to share Brady. Oh, we've got an echo. Sorry, we've got an echo, guys. So we went to the funeral home and they brought Brady out. And because Brady used to steal my clothes, she was a typical teenager. She would steal my clothes, she'd steal my makeup, she'd steal my jewelry. And there was one outfit that she used to steal all the time, and it was a Winnie the Pooh top and my black lace-up pants. And so for the last time, I let her steal these clothes. And we went in and they wheeled her out. And I said to them, "What did you guys do to her hair?" And the lady looked at me. She goes, "Oh, we just washed it." I said, "Because it's straight. She should have curly hair." In death, her hair had gone straight. So there was a group of us. There was me, there was Shad, there was Nick, Lorraine, Diane, Laura, and Kirsten. And so it was a group of us. And we all went in there and we dressed her. And we curled her hair, and we did her makeup for the last time because we felt that was something that was a special moment. Because we used to do that as a group of girls. We used to do all of this, and so that's what we did for the funeral. We went and I dressed my daughter one last time. Am I healed? Probably not. And probably it never will be. But she's not suffering and she's not in pain. And I know that I will see her again, not just in butterfly form. We carry her with us. It has been 11 years now, coming up to 12, I think. No, let's see, 12, 14 years. And we've learned to live. We've learned to move on. We carry a piece of her with us wherever we go. I brought one thing over with me from New Zealand. That was hers. And I don't know if this is going to show up very well but this is a big hunk of crystal that was hers, and it has butterflies etched in it. And this is with
Are they
me.
blue butterflies? We have that same one.
There you go. So this is what this came over with me. And it's a little piece of her. It was a gift that was given to her, and I carry it with me. 4 years afterwards, I had her wallet. I have photos. I don't diamond paint photos. I physically can't bring myself to do it. So I don't have a diamond painting of her. But I will soon. In August, I plan to release something a little in memory of her, because my emotions are my art. I think she would have loved. She knew Rory, because Rory and I had been best friends for years. And I think she'd be kind of proud of me right now. The fact that I'm following my dreams and living my life. And I feel her close to me on days that I need it. And I still swear black and blue that she goes into her sister's room at night and keeps her awake playing, because that's what she used to do. But I had these amazing years with her. I started off as a friend to her, and it quickly evolved into a mother-daughter relationship. She did not grow in my womb. She grew in my heart. I was there when she needed me the most. And I was there when she left this world. I might not have brought her into this world, but I was there when she left. And she knows that she is loved. She wasn't loved. She is loved. Very much. And I've lost a few people since then. I lost my dad a year later. He literally, it is 10 days in a year after Bridie died that we lost him. And I remember saying to him when we got his, because we got given notice that, warning that he was going to be passing. He had pancreatic cancer. And we were told 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months. It was 6 weeks. And he died, 10 days past Mackenzie's anniversary. Oh, not Mackenzie's, Bridie's, sorry, anniversary. And I remember saying to him, you can't die on the 9th, Dad. I can't deal with double whammy. He's like, I won't do that to you. He goes, I'll wait a week. He waited a week. I suppose for people who are grieving, the best advice I can give you is remember them, because they stay alive with us when we remember them. Love never dies, never ever. But use that love to, we heal in time, eventually. There is no time frame to grief, ever. If someone says to you, you should be over this by now, excuse my language, but fuck them. Seriously.
Roland, I always say you don't get over shit like this, you learn to live with it.
Exactly.
That's what I always tell people, and I use those exact words.
Well, we know I have a sailor's mouth, and we can thank both my fathers for that one. This is not a story I thought I would share on a live video on YouTube. But, you know, apparently the universe had other plans. So I was going to tell you guys today about my dad's death, actually. I wasn't going to tell, but Bridie's one is the one that's come out. So what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And, you know, that's a saying that I've heard all my life. And I've been through hell and back in my life. I have not had the perfect family life. I have been divorced twice. I have been beaten down. I have been broken. I have spent 16 years of my life sexually abused. I have lost babies. I have fought to have the two that I have in my world. I've lost friends. I've grieved for people. I packed up my entire life and moved to a country that I'd never even visited for a new life and got it. I mean, I got all of you guys, my art, and you guys are more than just people who buy my art. You guys are my friends. You're wrong. And you guys, we never stop grieving. Life just teaches us how to deal with it a little bit better. And there are days where it is harder than others. It never stops. It never, ever. We come into this world with one goal, to make it to the end. And the end is when we stop, and then we don't grieve anymore, but others grieve for us. And there is this cycle that happens. If you've been blessed with people that mean them, and you've lost them and they mean that much to you, that's an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it means that we were loved and we loved. And I think that is a beautiful thing. I'm going to shift my camera up because I'm obviously not going to get any more diamond painting done right at this point in time. I'm just going to cover up a little bit. And I will finish that later.
Rose, if I can just share one more thing.
Of course you can.
When my dad passed away, we were all at home. So I was living here, and I flew out the day after he passed. He passed in the evening, and I flew out the next morning to be with my parent, my mother and my sibling. I was telling my mother the story of the dimes. Now, 10-cent pieces, we call them dimes. So the story of the dimes is that if you've lost someone and you find a dime, a 10-cent piece, it's sent from an angel. So it's your loved one telling you that they're near.
Yeah.
So the property that I grew up on was quite large. We had a large house, and my dad had a garage, and he was a truck driver, so he had his own garage and his own truck. So he did all of his own repairs and everything like that. And the day before his funeral, or the day after I got there, I'm not sure, my mother was going back and forth to the garage for different things because he didn't want flowers. She wanted him represented on his casket. So he didn't have flowers. He had like all of these different things, like wrenches and screwdrivers and gloves and all those handyman things that he had, those mechanical things that he used to use. So we put it all together and had that laid on his casket. And Mom was going back and forth to the garage several times. I think it was her 5th trip to the garage, and I went with her. Now, it had been raining all morning, and it was really wet and gross. And the distance from the house to the garage was a bit dirty and a bit muddy. even though it was stone, it was still a little bit wet and muddy. So I went out with her to get something. I don't even remember what it was. And on the way back, I was telling her the story of the dimes. And she was really interested and taking it all in. And she looked down at the ground, and in front of her was a dime. And she said, "Oh," she said, "there's one for you now." And I looked at my feet. There was a dime. There was one in front of both of us. They were shiny, clean, and dry. We walked that same path to the garage. They were not there. We walked back, and they were right in our steps. So I said, no. I said, "That's not for me." I said, "Mine is right here." I said, "That one's for you." So she picked up hers, and I picked up mine, and we kept them. I still have that dime. And I found several more after that. I was changing the sheets in my bed one day, and you know how you take the bottom sheet and you tuck it under your mattress, but you lift your mattress up to do that.
Yeah.
I lifted the mattress up, and there was a dime under my mattress. I can't explain how it got there. So I found several. So I decided that I wanted a dime from the year my dad was born. So the summer after he had passed, I went to a coin shop, and you would never find it in circulation because he was born in 1935. So you'd never find a dime in circulation from 1935. So I went to this coin shop and I asked them, I said, I need something specific. And he was like, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for a dime from 1935. And he went through and he's like, I got some." He said, "But I don't know how many I got or what condition they're in." And I don't care what condition it's in. I just want it. So he went off and looked, and he was like, "No, I haven't got any left." And I said, "You have to have it. You have to have it." I said, "I need one." He said, "Just let me look in one more place." And when he opened this book, there was one. So I bought it and I brought it home. It sits in the frame with my dad's picture. So after my mom passed away, I started finding more and more and more. And I have a container full of them now because I keep every random dime I find, because to me it's a sign that they're watching and they're visiting. So in September of last year, I decided that I was going to get a tattoo. I got 2 dimes, one from 1935 with my dad's initial, and one from 1952 with my mom's initial. So I carry them with me
I love that.
wherever I go. And that's the significance of the 10-cent pieces that I have tattooed. So this year, on the anniversary of my mom's passing, I went and got another tattoo. You saw it. So. But I've got my blue frog. And I've always enjoyed frogs. So that one for me, that one's fun. But the dimes, that's why I have the dime tattooed on me. And that's me carrying them with me all the time. They never leave my side.
Yeah, they find ways. Diamond Queen, I am so sorry for your loss, love. It's still very fresh for you. And it takes time, love. Go back, watch the video. We've all shared stories here. Hopefully you might find something that will help you. Guys, it is that time where we're going to start wrapping up. I seriously need a cigarette after that one. A stiff drink. I want to thank Sarah, Chris, and Rob for coming on live and sharing their stories and being a part of this. I want to thank all of you in the chat who have spoken. I am sorry if I've not responded to each and every one of you. But I have read everything, except I will go back and read what I've missed from when I was with Kenzie. This was a hard life for everybody, not just the four of us that are in here, but everyone that was in chat. I want to send a special thank you to Jenny, who is going through a lot right now. And she's out there looking after Kenzie so that I could tell you guys my story. I'd like to ask you all guys over the next couple of days to just keep Jenny and her family in your thoughts and prayers.
Of course.
If you're a candle lighter, light a candle. Just she needs us to support her right now. We will. We love you. We respect every single one of you. You guys are more than just clients to us. You are part of our world, and each and every one of you touch our hearts in many ways. And we love the bond that we develop with all of you.
Thank you, Rose, for organizing this. It helps. It
does.
It helped us. It helped me. I know I can speak for myself here. It helped me a great deal, and I hope that it may have helped somebody else. And I just want people to know that if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to just listen to your story, if you're looking for help, you can reach out to a friend, a stranger. A stranger is probably even better because they don't know, and they don't judge. They just sit there and listen.
Yeah.
I can't tell anyone how to feel, and I would never ever dare tell anyone how they should feel, because whatever you feel, it's right for you. But I want to say thank you, Rose, for allowing us, for me, and the rest of us to tell our stories, to get it out. It helped me. It really did. But I also want to thank you for your friendship as well. You are very special to me, and I tell you all the time, and I know you know it.
Yeah.
But it means a lot to have someone like yourself who actually cares and I can talk to freely about anything. It doesn't matter. There's never any judgment. So thank you. Thank you.
Rose, thank you for letting us be with you tonight. Help to let things out. It really does. And I appreciate your friendship so much. I can't tell you. You're an amazing person. I'm sending you virtual Hershey kisses.
They have to be virtual. I can't eat chocolate.
I'm not supposed to, but I've been chowing down on a few of them here tonight. I needed something to just try to make me feel a little bit better, and chocolate always does.
Chocolate is the solution for everything. Chocolate fixes everything, right, Rob?
You got that right. And a nice glass of wine. You know, I finished off just about this whole bottle during this live.
Good on you.
There's only just a little bit left in there.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drinker, but I had this wine at dinner on my last cruise, and it was amazing. And I normally don't drink, and I don't drink wine usually either. But this was just so good. I had to get a bottle of it, and I finally located it here in Tampa. So I just decided to get it, and I'm still enjoying it as much now as I did on the cruise.
That's good. That's good.
And obviously someone's better.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy to see her running around and being happy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to meet you, Sarah. I don't think we've ever met before, but
I'm sorry I didn't even introduce you guys. I'm so sorry.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully we'll see you again.
She's one of our testers. She's testing Lion's Pride.
I'm envious a little.
That's what she's working on right now.
Just a little.
Yeah, hold it up. Yeah.
Yes.
Hang on.
Nana, thank you so much, love. I really appreciate that. So we'll end on a good note, guys. This is one of the endangered
Oh, wow.
animals.
Wow. It's
Isn't he
beautiful.
beautiful?
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
And when she's finished all the clouds, she's going to come on another live and finish the face for us on live.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, he's looking amazing. And we've got, Carlina, the koala's being done at the moment, and he's looking good. And the lynx, oh my God, Ziggy looks amazing. We've got so many. I'm trying to get my sister Glenda to come on. She's doing the lynx, but she's shy. Not
I can't
really.
wait to get Houdini.
Yes.
Oh.
The Houdini should be starting to arrive in a few weeks.
Hopefully
So
soon. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, you guys will all start getting Houdini soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to hearing that you guys have all started to get him. And I look forward so much to seeing you guys doing him.
Yeah.
So exciting. Well, guys, we're going to log out. I'm going to go find and get something to eat because I haven't eaten today because I've had a bad flare, so I needed to flush first. Thank you all so much for your love, your support, for being here day in, day out. Diamond Queen, the best advice I can give you right now, love, is the first year is the hardest. The first birthdays, the first Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever it is. The first holidays without them. The first are the hardest. From there on in, it starts to get not easier, but you learn to cope. And that's the difference. I'm not going to tell you it's easier because grieving is not easy at all, but it does. You learn to manage it, and that's the best advice I can give you. So hang in there, and when you need to, reach out to people. Finishing up, love.
After the first, you gain a different perspective. I just had my last first.
Yeah.
So you gain a different perspective. It doesn't go away. You're learning every single day. It's a new journey every single day. So that's how I get through. It's a new journey every single day. Every single day that I open my eyes, it's a new day, and I can choose to make it a bad one, or I can choose to make it a good one. So.
All right. So I'm going to bless all your bums.
Rose, once again, thank you. Sarah, it was a pleasure meeting you. And Cousin Chris, it's always a pleasure having a chance to see you and talk with you.
Always a pleasure, Rob. Thank you again, Rose. Much love to you.
Sarah, Rob, Chris, thank you. And Rob, I'm so glad I finally got you on a live.
Yeah, you busted my cherry with lives tonight. This is my first time on being alive. We
will have you back again, definitely.
I think
maybe when you drag that old hag out of the coffin in Halloween.
What? Tell them what I sent to you before we went on tonight about what I had to do. I thought it was kind of funny.
Where are we? So he sent me a classic image of an art piece that looks like Mackenzie, which was beautiful. Where are we? He goes, my henbane pokeweed is in the house. He picked it up today, so he's got drunken henbane. We talked about who was going to be on the live, and then he was going to have his 3 S's: his shit, shower, and shave. Is that what you meant? You shit, shower, and shave?
Yeah. I wanted to be a little bit more socially responsible when I didn't want to come out and say it that way. Politically correct. Let's put it that way. Politically correct. But what did I go to?
Political correctness can kiss my behind as I walk. That's what
Well, what else did I say though? What did I end with?
Here, let me go back. Need to be sparkly, clean, and smelling good for me.
So can you smell me? I think I smell like cherries tonight.
Oh, even better. You smell perfect.
The dogs agree. They're not keeping their distance. All right.
All right, guys.
Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much. And don't forget about the adoption and rescue event that's coming up July, August, and September. Hope to see you all there and participating.
Yeah, we will be designating some time on the channel for that as well. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
I think we have a date on the 7th, don't we? The 6th for me. The 7th for you of February?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I put that in my phone too as a reminder.
Yeah, it's in my diary.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I won't be as nervous then as I was tonight.
Get another bottle of wine in you, Rob. You'll never be nervous again.
Maybe it'll.
I can't. I've already done Houdini, guys. Just saying. But I can come on with another animal. That's not a problem. All right, guys. Love and leaders. And thank you so much for your time. Bless your bums.